After spending over $10,000 in credits, I realized that there are only 5 things you need to learn to create hyper-realistic videos and images with AI. And today, I'll show you what these are and how to use them to stop getting average results that look like AI. Starting with the first one, which is the subject. This is the first thing people pay attention to when they look at your video. And one of the biggest problems with that is the AI glow. You see, in reality, no human has perfect skin. It usually has small imperfections like wrinkles and eye bags, but most of the time, AI just ignores that and creates something perfect. So let's get inside Higgsfield, where I'll show you how to fix that in just a few clicks. Now, Higgsfield is an all-in-one platform that gives you access to all the popular image and video models out there, which is what I use to get the best results. So if you want to follow along with this tutorial, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can sign up. Once you're inside, this is the homepage you'll see. And because we want to create a human subject that doesn't feel like AI, we'll head up to the toolbar and click on the image section, then on Create Image. Now, this not only saves us a lot of credits compared to generating an AI video from scratch, but it also gives us full control over everything. So now let's pick the image model. And for this, I'll go with GPT Image 2. It's one of the best at prompt adherence, so it actually listens to all the details we give it. First, let me show you what a normal AI generation looks like. So I'll paste in this prompt, set the quality to high, the resolution to 4K, and the aspect ratio to 16:9, and press generate. As you can see, this clearly looks like it was made by AI. He's got this AI glow on his face, and everything is just too perfect to be real. So if I change the prompt to this one, where I tell it to add some small imperfections, like visible pores, a slightly uneven tone, and an unretouched raw look, while keeping everything else the same, this is what it gives us back. Now, I'm not going to judge the background or anything like that, since some of it might still look like AI, but what we really care about here is the face. And you can tell it did a really good job. You can see the small imperfections now, the fine lines, his stubble, even a bit of redness around his nose and cheeks. Now let's see another one, and I'll use this simple prompt first to show you the before and after. Again, we have this extremely glowing skin with 0 imperfections. She looks like she's wearing a ton of makeup and sitting in a lighting studio, which is just not realistic at all. So to make it actually feel real, I'm going to use this prompt where I keep everything the same and only change her face. I remove that AI look, add some small imperfections like small blemishes, and press generate. Now, I honestly think this is finally looking like a normal person in the morning in her kitchen, with no extreme makeup or Snapchat filters on. So we did a really good job with this one too. But now let me show you how you can actually change the age of a person with just a few details. So I'll remove the previous prompt and use this one. This gives us the same generic AI looking face with smooth skin and everything that gives it away as fake. But if I paste this prompt and clearly tell it to add subtle age spots and gray stubble texture, it gives us this result. And I think this not only looks more realistic, but it also changed his age by about 10 years, making him more mature, just like I wanted. So with prompts like this, you can turn any subject that looks fake into something realistic. But this was just the subject, and that alone isn't enough to make a whole scene look realistic, which brings us to the second thing, and that's the environment. But let me show you what AI actually does when you try to create a normal environment. So if I paste in this prompt, this is what we get. Everything looks nice and clean, but it honestly feels like this woman just moved into a new house and barely got a desk to work on. So it's too simple, and it feels off. But here's how you can turn that into something 10 times better. I'll write this specific prompt where I add a lot of varied props, and then click on the plus button and add the previous image as a reference. Now let's just press generate and see what GPT Image 2 comes up with. Well, what I really like about this generation is that it has this natural mess that makes it feel realistic. It's not a perfect image of a woman sitting at a desk, just like you'd normally see in an ad. Instead, there's quite a lot of mess on the table. We've got the charger, the sticky notes, and the open books all around her laptop, which is just how a normal person actually works day to day. Plus, we've got those books up on top, which again aren't perfectly lined up, but that's exactly what makes them feel natural. And we even get a small family picture right there in the middle, so this entire generation came out really good. So the trick here is to be specific. If you just tell it to make the room messy, it'll create something that, from my experience, still looks off. But when you name the exact thing you want, like I did with the jacket over the chair, it's really good at following your prompt. Next, I'll do the same thing, but in a different environment. This time I want a kitchen, so here's the initial prompt I'll use. And we get this nice and clean kitchen, but again, it looks completely empty, like nobody actually lives here yet. So what I'll do is use it as an image reference and then paste in this prompt. After a few seconds, I get this, which doesn't look like a real estate ad anymore. Now it actually looks real and tangible because we not only have a full fridge covered in kids' drawings and family pictures, but we also get dirty dishes by the counter. But now let's test it one more time with a simple bedroom. And this is the image I get from this prompt. So I'll use it alongside this new prompt to create something a bit more realistic, like this. There are so many imperfections here. I would bet 9 out of 10 people would say this is 100% real. Like the bed is a bit messy, and we even have a corner with a typical pile of dirty clothes, which is funnily accurate. And just like that, we can turn any simple and boring environment into a background that actually feels real. But to make an entire video look realistic, there's one more crucial thing we need to pay close attention to. Luckily for us, AI is already pretty good at it, so we just need a couple of small adjustments. So if you want to get that right, I highly recommend using Higgsfield, because not only does it give you access to GPT Image 2 and every video model out there, but it also speeds up the entire process since you don't have to switch between multiple tools. So go ahead and sign up using the link in the description down below. Now let's get back to our third component, which is the lighting. And like I said, there's honestly not much we need to fix here when it comes to AI generated images or videos. What we want to do instead is know how to control it so we can create different specific moods instead of letting the AI choose. For example, if I use this simple prompt to get this coffee mug, I can put it back in as a reference image. Then, with a new prompt, I can create a whole new lighting for it. So this is what I'll write and wait for it. As you can see, we placed the light source on the right side, and it did a really good job with the shadows. You can even see the light hitting the right side of the mug on the outside, but also the inside on the left, which just makes sense. And I know it's a small detail you might not think about, but trust me, when it's off, your brain catches it immediately and knows something is wrong. Now for people, it's a bit different because depending on how you use the light, you can change the mood entirely. And to show you what I mean, I'm going to use 2 different prompts with the same person in the same position. Here are the prompts, and here are the images for each one. The first one has a soft light coming from the left, and it feels calm, more like a normal photo of someone in their room. But in the second picture, everything changes. We get a darker room with a colder light coming in from the side and catching the wall on the right. This feels like one of those interrogation rooms. It's actually a bit scary, so it would fit perfectly in some high-intensity movie where someone's being held prisoner. So the moods are completely different, and you can use the same strategy on pretty much anything. So let me do the same with a plate of food, this time using bright daylight from above. And for the second one is a warm low light from the side. I really like this one because it has this romantic feeling to it from how the light is placed, and it even makes the pasta look more appetizing. So when it comes to AI, you don't need to fix the lighting. You just need to know how to control it based on the mood you want. But what's even more important for getting the exact mood you want is something a lot of people know they should do, but they don't, and they end up with bland results. So let's get to the fourth thing that makes any AI video look realistic, and that's emotion. But just like we saw with lighting, the current AI models are already decent at this, but they usually tend to play it safe and not exaggerate the emotions because they don't really know what you want. For example, if I use this simple prompt, I'll get this normal man sitting on a chair, and you can see there's literally no expression on his face. He looks neutral. So we tell the AI the specific details we want, like a person who looks exhausted, with heavy eyelids, an unfocused gaze, and some tension in his face. That's what I did with this prompt. And we get something like this, which no longer looks like a stock photo. You can actually feel the emotion this person has, and that he's tired. So the secret is to be really specific with what you want, and that means naming the facial expression, the mouth, and everything else you can think of. Because if you just tell it to make a sad or tired person, you'd get what you saw in the first generation. But let's go ahead and test this a few more times. Now I'm going to create 2 images at the same time, but with different emotions. For the first one, I want a woman who feels guarded and a bit angry, so this is the prompt I'll use. And then for the second one, I want her to be amused, using this prompt. As you can see, there are a lot of specific details inside, and when we generate them, both images have the exact emotions we're going for. In the first one, she has narrow eyes and her lips are pressed, showing a bit of anger. And in the second one, she has a big smile and genuinely looks happy. But this is not just for people. You can do this with animals too. So here are 2 different generations I created using these prompts. In the first one, he looks happy and full of energy, while in the second one, he looks completely worn out. So depending on what emotion you want to create, you can get it done in just a few lines. And that's pretty much everything most creators online talk about when it comes to making this look high quality. But there's actually a really important thing I learned from real filmmakers that took my generations to a whole new level, which is the camera setup. Because here's what happens when you use a simple prompt, but you don't tell the AI exactly what you want. The image follows the prompt, but it's not nearly as close as I wanted because you can't even see the woman's face. But when you tell it exactly the focal length, the aperture, and the framing, along with the angle you want, like I did here, you get a cinematic shot like this one. Now she stands out from the background, and the whole thing feels like a frame from a film. And to show you how much the lens alone can change a scene, here's the same kind of mountain valley shot twice. The only thing I change is the focal length. The first one is shot on a 16mm lens, and it's super wide with everything in focus. And the second one is shot on a 300mm telephoto lens, and it makes everything feel way more dramatic. So depending on the type of shot you want, you need to specifically tell the AI the lens, the framing, and the angle to get the best results. But up until now, we've only fixed one detail at a time. So let's take all 5 methods we've seen so far and combine them into one single image. And for this, I'll write one big prompt that has everything in it. It starts with a paragraph describing the subject, then one that tells the AI the exact emotion we're going for, then the environment, and the last 2 are the lighting and the camera. So I'll simply paste it inside Higgsfield while keeping all the previous settings the same and then press generate. And this is the result. Honestly, it's one of the best images I've seen so far when it comes to realism. We not only get extremely specific details in the background and on the table, but we also get some warm lighting from the sun on the man's face, and he looks a bit tired. Now, the obvious next step is to turn this into a video and actually bring this still to life. So to do that, I go to the video section at the top inside Higgsfield. I'll select Seedance 2.0 4K, upload the previous generation as reference, and check eligibility. For the aspect ratio, I'll go 16:9, change the resolution to 1080p, and I'll paste this simple prompt. And here's the result. I love how it's not just a slow zoom. He's actually blinking, which makes it feel so realistic. But what happens when you want to make a real video out of this and not just a simple close-up? So let's actually replace the previous prompt with this one and see how everything comes out. Well, it's no surprise that Seedance did a great job here, but there's actually one more thing I want to add, and that's a moving camera. So what I'll do is delete this prompt and add this new one. It uses pretty much the same actions as before, but now it also adds a moving camera doing a slow dolly arc. Let's press generate and see how it looks. Honestly, there's barely anything to point out. It looks like one of those sad moments from a Hollywood movie, and you can build even more shots on top of this. But if you want to create a single B-roll, you don't need to go through all of these steps like we just did. You can get it in an instant with one single prompt. And to do that, all we really need is the video section from Higgsfield and this master prompt. It includes all 5 details we talked about earlier, plus a few more, like the action with dialogue and the camera movement. So let's give it a test and see how it looks.
Morning, Tom. Good haul today?
Not bad, not bad.
Better than yesterday.
The first thing I notice is the camera movement. It's a bit shaky, which is exactly what I'd expect because it's following the man. But what I really think makes this realistic is the combination of everything. The way he moves, the colors, and even his facial expression, combined with his tone. But honestly, none of this would be possible without Higgsfield and all the image and video generators inside it. So if you want to start creating videos and images that look so real nobody can tell they're AI, go sign up to Higgsfield using the link in the description down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.